I'm always seeking for like something more that's more fulfilling, not applying myself.
But that's more of a recent phenomenon.
It's always been a phenomenon. I just never applied myself there because of survival.
I'm not following here at all.
It doesn't matter whether you're following.
Yeah. How long have you had survival for?
Most of my life.
Have you survived?
Anything else?
Have you survived? Yeah.
Yeah.
You accomplished that.
Yes.
On this week's episode, we try to figure out who benefits more, the giver or the taker.
All right, introduce the topic, guys.
So, next philo topic. The first one says, who benefits more, a giver or a taker, and why?
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, we put down, me and Dennis, a few points before, so we can kind of start, I think, with that one, because I think that might be its own topic right there. But I think that this is a point that society has wrong. When it comes to like in I guess relationships, you know, friendly, non-friendly, like family, like whatever it is, right? People, I don't know, like if you want to call them favors or do like different things for each other, and if you want to bring up any kind of scenario, there's in I guess society's world, there's a giver and then there's a taker, right? Like I don't know, like I need help lifting this, right?
Moving.
So yeah, like moving, right? So it's gonna be movers who are helping you, and I guess in society, like a breakdown of what you're doing, potentially like lifting heavy things, spending a day, like giving up their time, right? Like just doing manual labor and stuff like that. And then there's like, if you want to call it the taker, the person who's being moved and the person who's being helped. In like traditional terms, right? Right. My kind of thing here is I think that we can have a discussion as to who benefits more and why. Why does someone here feel like one person versus the other? So yeah.
Okay.
But with the context of like, why did we start talking about that?
Well, it I mean, the context I don't think like matters so much because it applies to so many different scenarios. But just in general, in society's terms, you have a giver and you have a taker, and I think in society's terms, the giver is the one who's kind of like giving something, right? And the taker is receiving something. So I guess like in plain language, the one who's taking is physically getting something. But I think I think society has it backwards, but I want to hear what you guys say.
Yeah, but
So,
what is your reason? Okay.
Is there a difference between taking and receiving? Because I feel like when somebody thinks of the idea of take, or at least I do, like it may have like a negative connotation or association with it, like somebody's taking something away from me versus I'm receiving something from an individual. I don't know. That's just something that popped into my head. If there's like any difference in the way you view it or how it should be, I guess, laid out.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's like I'm not so concerned with like the negative connotation or not negative connotation. It's just plain and simple. Like if you're like, hey, can you give me a ride, right? And I need to leave my office and give you a ride, right? At the end of the day, in plain language, right? I'm giving something to you, right?
Are we assuming that the person giving the ride is not receiving or taking something from?
Well,
the individual?
in societies, just I think general people's understanding, just in general, more is that the person who's getting the ride to the place is the one who's receiving the most benefit.
Well, because it's more obvious, right? It's like it's a more obvious exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So your argument is that the person, if the society got it wrong, your argument is what? That the person who's actually giving, so to speak, right?
Yes.
Is receiving more
than the person who's in taking or receiving.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be my argument.
And why is that?
My argument is that like I think the person giving gets more benefit out of it because there's a lot of like the reason I think a lot of times too is that the person who's receiving it, I think, is receiving something more like in that singular moment, something more simple, right? So if it's, for example, like if we want to bring an example of like Dennis giving a ride to Nate to the airport,
Okay.
right? Let's say like there might be other things that Nate is getting out of it, but I think at the moment, at that moment, Nate is receiving to me something pretty simple there, right? Like,
Yeah.
like he's getting a
From
ride
A to B. Yeah.
to the airport, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what it is,
yeah.
right? So like the value on that to me more is like a, like what, $40-$50,
Yeah.
right? At that moment. But
Well,
I
what
think,
about the fact that he's getting a ride not from just, it's not a $40 ride. He can pay for a $40 ride.
Yeah.
But can he have a friend? Let's just say if it was a friend.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this case at this time.
Yeah.
Right. But if it was a friend, it's more than $40, right? You
100%. Yeah, if it's a friend. I think in this case it wasn't a friend.
Okay, cool.
Right? And in that case, I think that there's way more value and like or ROI, everything that you can possibly think of in the scenario for Dennis than for Nate. And
Why?
I definitely think that like more than 90% of the world would view it the opposite
Yeah,
way.
What kind of benefit would I receive?
Well,
what is like you have
I
to
think that there's-
unbox that part.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that there's a lot of lessons within there. A lot of like when you do something for someone, I think that like it helps. It helps. Like it opens you up to seeing yourself more, and I think that it
Does it always do that? You feel?
I think it's always happening, yes. I don't think it's always happening on a conscious level.
Okay.
Like, I think a person can do something like that thousands of times and not physically know that they're actually benefiting from this, right? They're just like, damn, I gotta give this motherfucker a ride again. Like, damn, I gotta spend an hour with him alone in traffic, right? But there is development that is happening in this person's character. There's understanding that's happening in this person's like what he knows or doesn't know about himself or herself.
So
right?
Can this not be happening on the receiver or taker's end, this type of development? I'm just based on like the way you're viewing it as well. I guess the same type of development that the giver is going through or experiencing.
It can be. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I was saying that like it might not be just the $40-$50 for Nate, but I think it's on a moment to moment basis and like a task to task basis. Like I think that like I just think that the person who's giving is definitely receiving more at that time because naturally their cup is more full at that time, right? So it's like they can naturally give more because they have enough of something, right? So like when you have that like when you have enough and you can give, I think it buys you time to learn. But when you don't have enough and you can't give and you need to take, I don't think that you can have that same like perspective.
What if the act of giving is actually the taker's actually doing the act of giving? He's allowing somebody to give him that ride. He let's say he's full, and part of his thing is allowing people to, I guess, be of service, or allowing himself to allow people to be of service to him as well.
What who like
Yeah, but that's not like a
thing?
like a general thing mostly, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that how like your stuff usually goes?
No, because I'm just trying to see like I don't really see the difference how the development of the giver and the take based on the explanation. I still don't see like why there's a difference.
I thought you were gonna ask him more so like about the benefits. Like you might, in the grand scheme of things, I agree with you that the person who's going through those lessons, like sucking their teeth or like, oh, it's a waste of time and stuff like that. In the grand scheme of things, I think the person does benefit. However, in the moment, I don't think the person definitely believes that.
No.
The giver, right? The giver in the case scenario, he's almost like scolding himself or scolding the other person, like, ah, fuck, I gotta do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's not him benefiting anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But he's saying that there's the hidden.
That's what I'm saying. But like, who is the observer of the benefit? Your karma?
No, just like the world. Like the world is the observer of the benefit.
World.
Yeah,
The
just
world.
so, like
But you're saying they have it wrong, right? Well, society.
no, I'm
the
saying
world.
just it's like whatever is, like whatever existence is, like that's the observer. It doesn't have to be like one
So it's
person
not
or
the society,
the
I
other.
think,
No,
you're talking
not like physically, like
Society.
people, like just
It's
the
the
world,
truth,
like
the universe.
the truth, the universe, Mother Nature, like whatever we want to call it,
Oh.
right? Like it's just seeing that, and there's development happening, and I think through doing those kinds of tasks, right? Because I think through the process of helping, naturally, I think will come like an opportunity for that person who's helping to slow down, and I think that they will eventually be able to get to a conscious level of being able to see those benefits and understand those.
I have a side. It has to do with this, but it's the only thing I could think about just now.
Oh,
You know how you mentioned like the currency that you want is seeing your friends like
yeah,
flourish, whether it be in love or whatever.
yeah,
Like I might be completely off here,
yeah.
but I feel like because you just told me that. Like watching him talk just now, and again, I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this, but
Yeah.
watching him talk, right? Like I just felt like, is that one of those things for you where you like get to look at him and be like, wow, like this motherfucker finally like understands some shit, you know?
100%.
It's like that's the gift for you, right?
100%. If that which you talked about for a very long time is now
Finally
is
flourishing
realized,
in another person.
it's flourishing and it's realized, and the person's benefit from it, and they actually acknowledge like, hey, I benefit from that. Of
Yeah.
course. How can I not? Like, I would be a hater not to
Yeah.
not to
Yo, my
enjoy
man,
that.
who the fuck have you become, bro? Like, I don't know. I still can't. It's like baffling to me, bro.
He hasn't been
I
around.
think you need to get on his dick. That Pisca you were talking about
I
yesterday.
think someone's mad that they're not enlightened.
No,
The
he's
thing
been
is,
talking
he
about
hasn't
it
been around to
every
be able
day.
to see your progression or to
Yeah,
have
that's
these
true.
conversations.
That's true. Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot, right? The amount of time we spend with each other
Yeah.
and being able to see those
For
qualities.
the record, I still think he's a bozo, but he definitely like.
You had to
he knows
say that
some
to
shit.
counter.
Yeah.
Sound
counteract
like it
that.
a second
You,
ago.
you couldn't give him a 100%
No,
compliment. You had
definitely
to
not.
add like
I
25%.
can't do 100, but I can do like a solid 90.
Totally, you're 75% there. The 25
90.
more.
Nice.
and
Why you gotta? I said 90. Why are you reducing it? Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, man, for sure. So that is currency for you, all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the truth. So if I have the
But
ability
it makes
to
you feel good.
100%. If I have the ability to recognize truth for truth and the person is thriving, yes.
Yo, so maybe I'll give the context real quick, Toliy. What do you think? While he's doing that.
Sure.
Yeah, so the context behind this topic that you're talking about was because, you know, yesterday you helped me realize that it's important to give without expectation, and I was living in this societal standard that I was keeping receipts on who I've helped potentially and which favors people have to call in and things like that, and it's unhealthy. If you're gonna talking to the mic, but I'll move yours if anything. But yeah, so yeah, and you helped me realize that in reality it's a pretty shitty way to live, keeping track and keeping receipts, and because then you're really not doing things with a clear intention or a clear heart. You're doing it with some expectation that at some point down the line someone's going to repay you for your actions, and that kind of invalidates the whole point of giving in the right way.
Well, that, and I think that you'll be met with a lot of disappointment, not only because not about even the repayment, because like I think that, for example, you particularly in this case operate on this kind of currency, right? So I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of favors, you know, for different people, like, you know, in your relationship, in your friends, your family, and stuff like that, right? And when you do those favors, I think you're gonna do a lot of them because you like doing them, right? But I don't think that you'll get, if you want to call it ROI, like I don't think that you'll ever get back what you're expecting back from it, because like I I don't think other people will be able to understand your currency and take it.
Right.
So
Or even
right?
or even had that currency in the first place,
yeah, right. So when
operating on something completely
exactly right. So when someone's like, you know, I don't know, someone says like, "Yo, you were never there for me," and you're like, "What are you talking about?" Like, you got a million examples, right? But to that person, there's none because the things that they actually wanted or the things that like they take currency in, right? You never did.
different. Right. Right.
So I think it just leads to disappointment there too, especially when you have an expectation to get something back.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I think that like empowering people and things that are not like physical things are definitely much bigger things. And those are things that I think like are like forever lasting, and those are like the biggest things that you could do for anybody.
So would you say that the question becomes is there, I feel like it's a thin, like, what happened to this concept? Is it a complete fraud, this concept of like it's like a human system of giving and taking?
Barter?
They're supposed to, not so much but not so much. What I meant to say was like there was, I thought, like a almost unspoken, again I thought unspoken kind of system of like when you take, you want to give back, because you don't want to just, if you take too much, the balance will fall off. That's how I thought. You know, what do you guys think about that?
Can you say that again?
Like, what about the system of like, you know,
Balances.
yeah, like if I'm a person, like something that you were talking about earlier actually, but like if I'm a person who just keeps taking, right, just letting people practice their giving and just take, at which point does that become, how do you say nagost in Russian?
Rude.
Like even worse than rude. Like yeah,
Dirty.
like yeah, I don't know.
Rude is like
Somewhere
entitled
between dirty and rude.
It's like entitled rudeness.
Yeah, like at which point are you taking advantage? Yeah,
It's
like,
scummy.
yeah, like are you taking advantage of the situation? At which point where it's like, you know what I mean? If you're only taking, right? Like, are we not supposed to keep the balance by giving back? Like, isn't like relationships? I always heard, maybe I'm just reading the wrong Instagram quotes, but you're supposed to, you know, relationship, you fill the cup, you take from it, and you give it. You know what I mean? And that's how you keep it. Kind of, you water the plants, water the flower to grow. You can't just like, you got to keep watering. Each person waters, and then the relationship grows. You know, you know what I mean. So I'm wondering, like, at which point it's like a thin line here between like understanding that like, okay, like there's actually BS keeping receipts and trying to keep people accountable, like, oh, maybe like they owe me a favor, it's not, because that's when it turns to toxic, keeping receipts and like, yeah, that person owes me a favor, blah blah. But then at which point is it like, if you keep no receipts, if no one's accountable to, you know, anything that they're given, they're not accountable to give back, is that also kind of like, is that the natural way for human beings or not? I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, but like the tally. I mean, like the tally, to keep the tally, like that would be wild,
right?
You know what I mean? The tally itself, like, yeah, like to keep it all like fair and stuff like that, like
Go nuts.
Yeah, you'll go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to try to like, that's just, I don't see how that's possible. You know what I mean?
And different people have different values, so it's like I don't know, like I don't know, like maybe they're talking with you for like 3 hours at nighttime, right? Versus you giving an airport ride, you guys would have to make like a key as to like how many points is what.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
this is
like,
true.
Is 10 airport rides equal to one good long talk where like you learn a lot and it saves your relationship?
Right.
Or is that 50 airport rides for you?
Yeah.
Right? So like that's why I think the favor is...
What do you mean a 50?
Yeah.
Be 100,000.
No, yeah, I'm not sure. Like you guys would have to make a key as to
trying
like...
to sell my shit mad short.
No, I'm saying that you guys would have to...
talk with you for mad long to save your relationship.
Those are 200,000 frequent flyer miles.
Think about
right
that.
there.
That's like, you know, holy shit. You're
That's what
paying
I'm
for a
saying.
couple of lifetimes, bro.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is that like even if that were the case, like you guys would have to like two people would like either have to have the same values where they just operate on this like nonsense favor system of like giving rides to each other or dropping off cakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
or they would have to agree on like a key as to like this equals that or that equals this,
Right,
and then
right.
you also would go nuts. But like my question is that like when you do something for someone, why do you do it,
Right. That's the number one question. Then.
right?
And
And
that,
then
like you're saying
Yeah.
that question is actually, for a majority of people, unexamined.
well, yeah, like if you
And-
can't answer that like you just want to do it or you are able to do it or you know, like if there's any little bit inside of you that feels that like eventually if you need something that you will
Call in those points.
that you will call in those points,
It's a wrap.
you should never do anything for anybody,
I agree. I understand. I did not agree before, but I understand. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because it just leads to like so many bad relationships
It's a wrap.
and
Yeah.
and so much
Now,
suffering.
would you say that is this like just a problem that I'm really kind of struggling with here, or is this
No.
like
No.
a common thread of society?
No.
This
It's
is a
very
common
common.
thread.
This gifting and system
Yeah.
of like you owe me IOUs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think until people start asking questions about what true friendships are and true real relationships are, I don't think they're gonna get it right. I think they're gonna continue to do this thing of like exchanges, like, oh, I did this much for you and you did this much for me.
Yeah.
Therefore, yes.
Oh, go ahead.
He raises.
And he mumbled something.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at him, I'm like, okay, go ahead. Like, and then he said, no, go ahead. That's what you were trying to tell me, just to go ahead? Yeah.
He wanted to give.
Please proceed.
Yeah, okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, I think that until the humanity or the people really find out and start valuing the right currency exchange, right? Like, you know, when it comes to like actual values and belief systems, then yeah, they're gonna keep getting it twisted in this regard. You know, it's like who owns who, what's what. But that's like, again, that's all like, it's a vanity thing.
Yeah.
I'll add to this because this goes so much deeper than that. It's the conversation I had with one of my old coworkers yesterday.
What's his name? Oh, don't say his name, yeah.
Doesn't matter. But long story short, like he's on his drive, he's going down to a soccer game. You know, he's like, I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing? You know, I kind of hear from some of the other guys. You just kind of like resign your position. You know, the new position you took on. And it's almost like, and I start talking about kind of like self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, have you ever really thought about why you're doing what you're doing? I was like, you're talking about like certain things about potentially starting your own business, kind of doing something on the side. But like, you're doing this for the dollar. You're doing this to hit a goal. You're doing this for this, but do you really value this? Like, what are you doing that's actually fulfilling yourself outside of going to a bar on a weekend? And you know what's crazy is like, a smart kid, like very smart kid.
Top of his class.
Doesn't matter.
I was waiting.
No, like smart in terms of just like intellectually smart, like
Oh.
engineering side and all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I never really thought about this. He's like, it's crazy how one question out of his whole life, he's sitting there, he's like, I never really thought about like what I'm actually chasing, like whether it's hitting the goal. I'm like,
You almost introduced him to an identity he didn't know existed in his head.
But it's crazy. But like you look at this kid and you're like, you know, he has a brain
But it's not functioning.
in that area.
Yeah.
But most people don't question this. And I'm like, this is a simple thing I've been battling myself through my career.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, and I would think that most people
Yeah.
would be, but they're clueless. They're
Yeah.
completely clueless. And he's just like, you know, it's like I never really thought about like whether I'm actually happy. I'm thinking about I'm getting my paycheck, I'm getting my dollar.
Yeah.
But these people aren't even disrupted with
Would
this
you say
shit.
that the aliens have invaded us a long time ago? And you're
I
trying
would say that this is American society,
I mean, the robots.
Probably world society.
world society, but it's crazy like but the thing is like he's a kid who can think, but it's just like one question triggered him to be like I never really thought about fulfillment. I never really thought about like who and what and why I'm actually doing this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's a
One
good
question. No, but literally, it's profound because I'm sitting there on this conversation yesterday, and I'm kind of going through my own interpersonal struggle, personally, professionally, right?
Of course.
And I'm sitting here and ask one question, and this kid.
I mean,
just,
but that's,
like
that's a
his-
very important question.
But it's a life-changing question for him because he's like, I never really,
Well,
I never understood.
Life changing. Allegedly.
It's not a life-changing question for him.
It's
Yeah, no.
it's a
It could be.
glimpse.
It could be.
Okay, I'm not gonna go dive down that rabbit hole right now. It's the fact that
You made
it's
an
somebody,
impact, Nate.
It's somebody that never. No, but it was enough of an impact to where he completely froze dead solid in his tracks. Is like,
On the highway?
you know, he's literally sitting there and he's thinking, he's like, you know, like I never really asked myself this, and am I happy? Absolutely not. And I'm like, and okay, I get my goal, I get this, I get my promotion, and he's like, this is kind of how life has been for me and how I've been programmed. He said it himself. I'm not even leading him into this.
Mhm.
And to me, it was just wild.
Programmed.
Yeah.
Is the word you use.
Well, that's
Yes.
what that was. His example is what Toliy did in that moment where he
You,
kind
you,
of.
you a virus. You gave him a virus
I mean, the kid
into the program.
potentially.
No,
like,
no,
but,
no,
but
what I'm saying is
he hasn't been happy either way. Like I
No,
know,
yeah.
like because again, like I work for a company that I don't fully feel like
Yeah.
values their employees, values their customers.
Yeah.
It's about just process systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they make it very clear, like that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? But he's like, I settle for this piece, but I'm like, who are you? Like, who are you, and what do you want? And like, how much of your day and how much of your life goes to that?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I just thought that this was it. You
That's
know,
it,
I'm
yeah.
like,
He said that?
Yeah.
literally, like we went from, him checking in on me to literally just stopping, freezing, and saying, hey, like this is the impact on the world. Like you think like just most people are stuck and they're not even aware. But to me, it kind of shook me because I'm like, I can't believe like this is kind of the state of mind that people are actually in.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is kind of like my naivete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like because to me, I'm like, I'm always seeking for like something more that's more fulfilling, not applying myself.
But that's more of a recent phenomenon.
It's always been a phenomenon. I just never applied myself there because of survival. Because pay
go
bills.
Stick your head out that window real
Yeah,
quick.
I'm not following here at all.
It doesn't matter whether you're following. It's about survival. It's paying bills. It's about just kind of like fears that stop you.
Yeah.
But the challenge inside has always been that challenge. But this person's never even asked that question.
Yeah.
How long have you had survival for?
Most of my life.
Have you survived?
Anything else?
Have you survived? Yeah.
Yeah.
You accomplished that.
Yes.
No, on to the next stage.
On to the next one.
Right.
Living
So
and thriving.
most people are in survival then, right?
I don't know if most people are in survival. Most people are just literally ignorant. And
No, but what is the difference between like you and like I don't know, just some other person that has a job? They're also in survival then, right?
it's not about having. Some people are fulfilled in what the fuck they're doing.
No,
So
I'm
you
saying
can't-
most people.
I can't speak for most, Toliy.
But aren't you just saying that you're surprised that people operate like this?
I'm saying that ignorance is bliss, and it's like, okay, title, promotion, money. Promotion. That is just ingrained. And I never really challenged myself to say that there's more than this, and who am I?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I don't see where survival like plays a role here.
This
I don't see
is
where
a
you
question.
were
The
surviving.
survival thing was a question for me. Just first off, so let's not like muddy the waters because there's like three things going on. Like,
No,
you're muddying the water, bro.
Is anybody else confused here, or like?
Well, no, I know he uses that term loosely.
Yeah, like
I know
like,
what you're talking
what's
about.
survival?
I know what you're not like. Yeah,
having your own apartment and making a 6-figure salary. Like,
yeah, no, yeah,
you're talking about survival.
yeah.
I'm just not sure then, because then if that's a measure, then like everyone is just in survival.
Well,
or maybe
I
not in
think
survival.
everyone probably uses
I mean,
the word.
everything's relative, right? I paid down $60,000 worth of student debt, right? Like, there's this thing where I've been independent my whole life, so it doesn't matter what you're making, how much you're making.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's survival because
Yeah,
there's
It's a mentality.
You're saying that you were
but
never
let's-
able to awaken yourselves because you're also always in survival mode.
Because I was always trying to build something so
you
again,
don't
if
go
I had
hungry.
a family, then my family wouldn't go through what I went through.
So then
Financially,
your family
personally,
would not be
emotionally.
in survival mode then.
Yes.
So you were not in survival mode while doing this because you had enough.
To me,
food
you
for
still feel like
yourself.
you are because you feel like nothing's enough.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you were part
think
of those people.
Again,
So
you're
he's-
diving
he's-
into
I think
my.
he's
That's
agreeing
not,
that he's
that's not what I was
misusing the
trying to
word.
dive into this
I think
conversation
he's
about me right now.
misusing the word.
Yeah, no, but he's saying that like
He's saying is it's a mentality. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
the
but,
survival
like-
word. Is
But the
not,
thing is,
Yeah, but
by
he-
definition,
the
it's
point-
not.
yeah,
the
but
point
he
of the
talked to
conversation wasn't even
this guy,
this. He's
and
diving
he's
into
saying that
conversation
he's-
about me.
Yeah, he's in survival mode.
No, I'm saying that like he talked to this guy and he was like, I'm surprised that this is how people operate.
Mhm.
Right? Yet, like, was he not operating like this whole time?
Mhm.
And then he's saying, no.
That wasn't-
I was always
no, no,
doing
no.
this. I was
I
just
was
in
just
survival.
Okay,
mode.
but
Yeah.
no,
That's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying. Like, what
Yeah.
are we talking about?
See,
here?
but you're gonna ask me a question, then you're gonna answer it. So what's the point of me answering?
No, he has a
No,
problem with
well,
the
no,
definition of survival. I mean,
I have a
because the way
problem,
you're using
and I have
it.
a problem as to how he's explaining this because he's already steering it like he already has a conclusion.
Well, he has a conclusion because he's
There was
operating out of a term
operating,
of survival.
The operating to me was get my way through school, get a job, try to figure out, try to make it work, try to get promoted. But it wasn't
Yeah.
about the fact of I knew deep down inside I'm like I don't really know what direction. Like these are kind of my options. This was kind of like the path of a lot of resistance at the time. I thought was least resistance, right? But through those things, like I still took on things and became good at things to try to build up with what I had. But it's not what I wanted. And I knew that deep down. That's why I always had conflict. So this is where, like, again, like, if you want to know a little bit more, like, I can explain that to you. That's what it is. But that was not self-actualized. I knew the whole time. I'm like, from the coursework, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this degree.
By definition, that's not survival though, right, Nate? Like,
no, but let me take the...
In the sense that the thing is, I think there's levels to it, right?
Yeah, I picture Nate like potentially homeless, sleeping at the shelter.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
His stomach is hungry.
Yeah.
He can't think about these kinds of things of like actually pursuing a career that he wants or living life a certain way.
I didn't pursue the career I wanted.
Like he's in a drug-ravaged neighborhood like D.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but hold on.
Right?
Let's before, because this could go into another world. Let's take the intricacy of what he said. What he said, how I take it, and you guys can concur or not, is he was talking about this guy, his friend, made that realization, like, in that moment because of him, like, oh, fuck, potentially, allegedly made that realization. It's similar to what Toliy did for me there. Yeah. Where in that moment, I'm telling him, I can't tell, like, yo, bro, like, he's got to do this favor, bro. Like, I'm calling in that favor. I'm interested if he does it. Mm-hmm. Toliy's like, yo, you got it completely wrong. And it was like a shock, right? So Nate provided that shock to that guy where it's like, yo, you ever thought about beyond that? And so that does happen. I think that's the point that he's making is like, that was like, you're doing shit and you really don't even know why you're doing it. Right? Like, I was just living under the assumption, as much as I think I've progressed in certain areas, minorly, in this area, I completely realized that, like, I'm following, this is how my mother lives, my father.
The problem comes in as to when you ask why, you can't use the word survival.
Well, sure.
You know what I mean? Because by definition, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, the only
you've survived and you've thrived in the sense of security, right? The most basic needs, right? Shelter, food, and safety, right? Mm-hmm. Correct. If you met those needs, you survived. You've completed that level of your life, right? So you can't really use that. He's using it in a different way.
That's fine. He's just using the word.
Yeah. The only problem I had with what he was saying is that he's saying that
we're
he's
talking about a story about a coworker.
Can I not finish my statement? Go ahead. I didn't want to finish.
No, but Toliy, I mean, you're ham-hogging the whole thing. Like,
no, but I see his problem.
Don't be
with
such
what
a
you're
ham hog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that the problem I had with what you were saying is that you're telling us that you're talking with this guy, and you said something, and like you were almost surprised by how this guy's reaction was, how he never even like thought about this, or like how just you asking that simple question could trigger something like that, and then you said that like
he's a thinker. But in this area, he's not. Like in the interpersonal, he's not. In the outer,
he esteemed them high.
No. I'm not
higher.
Say
That's not the problem I had. I'm saying
our friendship started with a lot of conflict. So I never.
No, I'm trying to say that like the only problem I had was that he's saying that like he was surprised that this guy like never thought about this or stuff like that, right? And then when we called him out, that like he's just like this guy. He's like, no, but I always knew this, but I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
This person was.
I don't know how
he's hiding behind that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
you
what
can say that. No,
so survival mode is basic needs, right?
James, give me one second.
Survival mode,
not what he's saying though.
Survival mode is based on.
We agree. I think
we agree with that, James.
So
this, but let me talk about the context.
Something.
Let me talk about the context of what Toliy's saying.
James, you shut your mouth.
Yeah, James, you're interrupting.
I'm just saying, like, the whole time I was doing things, it's not because I fully enjoyed. I'm just like, this will pay the bills. This will get me to the point where I'm trying to get. But I know that something's wrong here. I never felt right inside. This person always felt this was right. So there's two different sides of this.
Yeah.
Into the mentality and the feelings that people are processing. These people aren't even processing any fucking feelings.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
I've been processing emotion this whole fucking time, saying, this is, at this point, this is all that I'm capable of and limited to, but this is not what I really want.
Yeah, you just can't use the word survival.
Okay, so I'll throw that word out.
So that's what I wanted, because
you survived. And in that level, you thrived.
Yeah, because like to me, he was using survival as an excuse of like, yo, I could not activate my mind because I was hungry.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Right.
And you have a nice watch on. We're not going to say the brand of it unless somebody wants to sponsor. It's a nice watch brand.
The brand doesn't have a lot of money, so
cut that out.
It's a fake.
Yeah.
It's a fake.
Yeah, sorry, James. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good, because I just wanted to kind of retrace the steps of the idea of like basic needs. So I went back to, I guess, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Mm-hmm. I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah. Me too. But I wanted to double check.
In Russia, they say Maslow's.
So the very bottom, right? The basic need
safety,
is
food, and shelter.
Right. Yeah. Food, sleep, water, shelter. That's the very bottom, right? The very, very bottom of the pyramid. Mm-hmm. Then just right above it, is also safety. These two things are the basic needs.
Yeah.
What's underlying within safety as well is security, also health, and also finances. Then also what's underlying in that is, but with the food, sleep, water is also an influence of biological and physiological. So like, since safety has health to a degree, would you still consider that his health in a survival mode based on even where he is? Because under safety, it's categorized also health.
He would have to be the judge of that, and I think he's being the judge of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the way he sees survival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's, to him, he was always in the survival mode.
Because of his health? Because of your health? You felt you were always
It's not
in
because of my
survival
health.
mode?
It's because I never had a
Okay.
fallback. It was me, myself, and I most of my life. Like,
Then I would say you were thriving then. I would say we're going
Yeah,
on a higher
like,
level
I-
things.
yeah, I don't
based on
understand
that, yeah.
We're going
that
into
part. That it was
semantics.
me, myself,
Yeah.
and
I was sitting there talking about
Yeah.
mentalities and viewpoints. And we could get past the word survival. I was talking about just mentalities of how society is.
Yeah.
Like what Dennis was talking about. Like, to me, that's kind of the wild thing of like that people have never really questioned that, and they get into it, and then they live their whole lives like this.
On
Yeah,
autopilot.
that's the phenomenon.
On
which is pretty
autopilot.
On
interesting.
autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just don't think those individuals who are going on autopilot, they can't use that as to say, like, you know what, the reason why I was doing this in the first place is because I was just trying to survive.
Like, he just
No,
wants-
I never
he just
said
wants
that
you
he
to tap
was.
out. Yo,
I
just
No, I
tap
know,
out.
for
never
him,
s-
I know you didn't say for him.
I didn't say
know.
for him.
Yeah,
Yo,
for him.
they're not gonna get off the survival.
I'm
Just
not-
say I was
I
not
already
surviving.
said let's get past the survival topic.
Because they're like
Thriving,
vultures.
okay.
Vultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting stuff for sure. All this stuff that kind of I mean, like my mother, same way. I've given you guys those stories earlier, but whatever, like, it's just people just live their life believing this system of favors and IOUs and gift giving as mandatory for everything, and keeping track of who did what and cutting people off. My mother tells me, like, we cut off this our old friend, because like they didn't invite us here or something, like we did so much for them, and
my parents have the same stuff. They cut
completely
off a bunch
toxic.
of people that like they have this little like running
it's a
thing
list. It's a running
where-
list.
and those who do meet that criteria, the ones that keep giving back and forth,
They stick
kinda
around.
they stick around a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
Even if that's not
But,
necessarily
but,
real.
but if you really examine everything, no matter what the violations happen, even with those friend groups too, and like people are not perfect, so they can't even keep up with their own system.
So what would be your working theory for a new currency if you could make one? That
I don't think it's new.
Yeah,
first of
no,
all.
it's definitely not a new currency.
It's
It's,
just-
just about
it's hit-
establishing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I don't think it's established. I think if you start paying attention, you find out what it really is. I think this is not a new currency at all.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It's actually been the only currency you're saying.
This is the only true currency.
We created a new one with this bullshit.
Yeah, correct. Because we probably like stopped thinking.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if we start thinking and slowing down, we'll find out what's real and what's not.
So
You know what I mean? Where it's just a basic thing, right? It's not what you bring, it's how you bring it. You know, it's like that kind of thing, right? Like it's quality versus quantity. Like everybody knows these cliche little things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do we actually know what they mean is the question. Right? Like you come into my house for my birthday is enough. Right? You come in with a gift, it's not like I'm gonna look at you differently. I shouldn't look at you differently.
But would you say
spending
most
the time
people,
with
most
me.
people would?
Huh?
Most people would though.
Well, no, that's the problem.
Yo,
I think
Dennis didn't even
no,
give me
100%.
anything,
But I'm saying is that like the big thing is you came, you showed up, and you're willing to spend time with me, quality of time, right? If you come into my house and you're not gonna spend quality of time with me, then yeah, you should bring a gift.
Yeah, James.
And you are.
We were talking about this
You're gonna bring a
earlier.
gift
Yeah.
because you make it up for something.
Yeah. Also,
Sorry.
We were talking about this earlier, and he mentioned your example about the cousins, about how you got a little frustrated. You got to constantly like bring gifts, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
it's crazy, you're giving.
Yeah.
Everyone expects a gift.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of parties. Yeah.
I don't always. I've been over the years. I haven't been bringing like gifts consistently. So like I've been doing what I value.
Mhm.
So like ways I could help. Sometimes what I've been doing is setting one-on-one, or for example, what I did with one of my closest friends is like, hey, I'll give you a free session, your health. That's me taking out the time. I value that a little bit more,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So how I've been doing it more in that way. So me taking out the time, I like to write into birthday cards. A lot of people don't do that. That's what I value, right? So like instead of me receiving a gift, I don't care about gifts. You just taking out the time, being present, or something as simple as you just writing something nice. Like I appreciate stuff like that, right? But I'm not looking for gifts or all these things because I don't value that. I value time, and that's the thing that's difficult, right? Because it's kind of going against my truth, and when it's going against my truth, there's a lot of friction.
Conflict.
Yeah, internal conflict, and it can be difficult sometimes. It's also culturally, right? In a lot of different cultures, this is what people expect, especially in the Spanish culture. You want something nice, it has to be all this stuff. But in like my actual household, we really don't care about gifts. In all honesty, now, like there's very few people that I know that care about gifts. Like for example, me and Steve, we don't care a lick or shit about gifts. We understand that. We've always been like that, and that's comforting. And I know, Eldar, you don't care about that shit either.
Yeah.
And that shit is very.
But if but also don't get it twisted. Like if it does happen where I want to go out, treat somebody something, like I'd do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's not gonna be on a routine schedule of like the society told you that today you got to give somebody a gift. Like that's ridiculous.
You're not pressured into it.
No,
it's because you want to. You're
it
willing
has to be where you actually feel it, or you can, right?
I remember
he was complaining, like, hey, like, yo, I'm spending so much money on fucking just Santa here, birthday here, quinceañera here, all these Spanish parties. It's crazy. All these kids that they have, and you know, like, he's like, yo, I'm drained. I'm like, like that's crazy.
I remember one time many years ago, like 8-9 years ago, it was your mom's birthday, and we were at your house, and you said, "Oh, it's my mom's birthday." I'm like, "What are you gonna get her?" And you go, "I'll probably vacuum the house."
Yeah, I don't remember saying that, but yeah,
and
probably,
I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, what's the problem? You know, like, is that not a value? You know, like getting her a clean home."
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I can provide right now.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that's what I can provide right now.
And I was like, "Why? You crazy? Like,
you gotta go get some jewelry or something, you know?"
Yeah, get her something.
Yeah, my dad always guilts me. It's like, hey, you're not gonna get mom any flowers, you know? Like he always, that's like a thing where like, hey, like Mom's Day or Woman's Day, birthday, like, hey, you gotta get flowers. Like that's the thing.
But would you say like if I want to give on those days,
do it.
I do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
But 100%, you should do it.
Yeah, but a lot of times I feel like the givers, like your dad, for example, in a case, right, or my dad. It's the same thing when it's like, yo, что-то special.
Yeah.
These are usually the biggest sinners and offenders to those people.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
So like there's gonna be 20 times a year or 50 times a year when Marat's gonna like violate Farida, stuff like that. But on birthday, on Valentine's Day,
he's gonna be on his best behavior.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like why?
Yeah.
Why? It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick and it's an actor, right? And all of a sudden, like, we have to be nice. Like,
it's like anniversary, Valentine's Day.
There's other days you don't do anything. You don't comply. You don't do what she likes. You don't treat her extra nice or whatever it is, right? But all of a sudden it's her birthday, so then now it's a special day.
Up.
You have to gap up, and that's where you have to come up with a nice gift.
Yeah.
And sometimes many.
Yeah, and these things are just like it almost feels like a lot of these holidays are just like interruptions to like buy people time. Right, you could be fighting for a little bit, and then here comes Valentine's Day. You get something nice. Now there's like a little piece. You go back to fighting, and then shit! Like in a few months, you're saved again because you got Valentine. Well, you got like
a birthday.
Yeah, a birthday, and then like before you know it, you guys are fighting again, and like shit, it's anniversary now, right? So it's almost like these holidays and these like little events are like. Help almost prevent
prolong prolong the
keep
problem.
People like at bay, right? Like it keeps people at bay from going nuts and actually examining things and actually challenging each other themselves.
Yeah, it does 100%. I think.
Yeah, that's what popped into my head, like prolonging them from facing themselves.
Yeah. So because you gotta mend things, you know, you gotta do this. This is a special day now. Are you gonna mess up Valentine's Day? Are you serious, James?
Or how about
what I'm saying? You've been there.
Yeah.
How about combining the two topics within the gifting?
Yeah.
So let's say you give me, it's my birthday. You give me something.
Yeah.
It's worth $200.
Yeah.
How many by the next when it's your birthday coming up?
Yeah.
I have to match that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
See, the problem
I
is
can't go lower.
Yeah. Like
and if I go lower, if you're not self-aware or on this different currency, you're like, like I know I got this, bruh.
Yeah.
$200 Nikes. The hell is this? He gave me a $50 gift card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, And then it's this kind of like,
and then
now
you almost like, yeah,
something
one person
sacred.
is above another person, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, we're comparing statuses, and the statuses are not matching.
Yeah. And
where's
now
the human
something-
being in this?
Yeah, now
Like,
something sacred, the birthday,
yes.
turns into a
and
disaster.
it's a different
every time,
shit
you know?
show. Yeah. I almost feel like, with your case of giving, like, because of the fact that you don't have the ability to receive gifts, and then you have this little tally that's going on. We need to give you more gifts.
But that came my inability.
We need to drown you with gifts.
But
You know what I'm saying?
My inability came from the same top. My inability to take on gifts came from the back end. Once I thought about it, came from the back
I'd
end.
rather not get gifts, so I don't have to give them.
Exactly, because I don't want to give it back.
You're a very advanced person.
When you're, especially when I was real poor.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not as poor anymore.
Yeah.
Surviving.
Yes, when I'm surviving, like
Yes.
me and Nate surviving,
Yes.
Not really, but you thinking about that, you know what I mean? Because like you almost like, damn, like you like the like when you guys got me those sneakers those couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was like those were my first Pure Boosts.
Yes.
I loved them; they were great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck, like I gotta get them something.
Yeah.
It's almost easier not to accept it.
Of course.
Because then I don't have to owe you nothing.
Of course,
We actually
yeah.
talked about this yesterday in
Yeah,
some way. I
of
feel like
course.
I'm repeating those words, but I can't.
All the Venmos you sent me back.
Fucking guy. What?
All the Venmos you sent me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather not get the gift. Like don't, and that's why I think the anxiety comes in where it's like it's a unexamined anxiety of like don't get I don't want it because in reality it's like I think it also has to do with money. Like because when I got money, like I have no like it's not, but like I think it comes from when you don't have necessarily the resources.
Why is he carrying that microphone like a gun?
You're kind of, you know what I mean. You're like, damn, like I gotta,
Yeah.
But then I would argue that that's also probably bullshit because it's,
Well,
we have money for what we want to have.
The thing is, you commit a crime against yourself. You commit a crime against the fact that like you're a human being and everybody else is a human being. And you somehow deduce yourself to a money number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean with this kind of system, and that's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just like you don't have the ability to buy someone something does not mean that you are not worth more. Like I told you, like my time is worth so much more than anybody can give me. It's like there's nobody can give me anything, you know what I mean, to make up for my fucking time. Like I'm convinced of that. You know what I mean? Like what? Like, so like that's why I told you then we can transition to that.
Yeah, to talk about that.
Yeah, that the time when I felt like I was being repaid. But I never looked at it like that, right? I feel like I was being validated maybe somehow, right? Like, or what is it? What is another word?
Cashing your check.
No.
No, I mean
you're being grateful. You know what I mean? For something where you finally were able to reach stages where you fell in love, right? And and I was cheering for you. I was in your corner, like it's like a boxing match, as just saying. And you were winning in this fight of love. You fell in love, and I'm over there, like like. Hell yeah, like this is what we worked for. This is what it's about. You know what I mean?
You're saying that's worth more to you than any whiskey
That's
bottle.
gold. That's gold to me because of the fact that this is what I value and this is what I cherish. You know what I'm saying? Like because of that, when you giving me those notes with Asli, when you guys were sending me like text messages or like pictures of each other and stuff like that, and you were over the moon, I was feeling that. Like I was being fulfilled and I was being healed by that. Like I was just like, holy shit, like, like I was experiencing all the feelings that I was experiencing when I first met Catherine. You know what I mean? Because like, it's like, holy moly, like, I know how that feels.
Empowerment. It's empowerment. Like when giving the gift of empowerment.
Yeah.
Like there's no higher gift.
Yeah. He, in that moment, right, because of the way he was treating her, the way he was looking at her, the way she was looking at him, the way she was treating him, all now is like telling me almost, right, inspiring me to like, hey, remember this, like, this is what we did it for. You know what I mean? This is where all those talks led us to. You know what I mean? So it's like what is that word called? Validation is have validity to everything that you've done. Like
assurance.
Like reassurance, yeah. Like it's almost reassurance that like, yo, what we were working towards, all those nights, all those discussions, all that stuff, like it wasn't in vain. You know what I mean? And now you're coming back and like saying, yo, like look at this.
I know what it is.
You know?
I know what it is. I think it's like the process of like, for example, like before that happened, right? Before that happened, you and Dennis were
at odds.
What?
We're at odds.
Yeah.
Disagreements.
Yes, in disagreements, you guys speak a different language.
Yes.
When that love started happening and those things happening, for that moment, you guys like synchronized. That you guys are on the same page now.
Yes.
And I think that's what feels
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
what it's.
Synchronicity. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
finally.
think
It was
that's what
finally.
feels
We're
so
like,
good.
you see, like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
both like, yo, like this is real.
Yeah.
This is happening. I know how you feel. You feel
Yeah.
the exact same thing I felt.
Yeah, you
We
guys are on the same
connected and
page.
became one for that moment.
Yeah.
And that is, to me, that's
Yeah,
godly.
like how many times are people just like, like someone's experiencing a problem, whoever it is, right? And someone can give them all the answers and tell them everything, and like it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter, no.
But then once you can get to that point where like
you went and did it.
you empowered
theory, yeah.
that person, and then it worked. Like you guys are now speaking the same language,
Yes.
and I think that feeling is
It's
stupid.
profound.
Yeah.
That's
And it's
that
like,
repaid all the debts.
And you got like in those kinds of things, sometimes if you operate based on it, you get like reoccurring kind of billing. Because what I mean by that is like
it's forever.
I'm
yeah.
2 years
Yeah,
strong.
you're forever
If
connected.
no.
I'm 2 years strong.
No,
and
chill with the strong part.
I like that. My mistakes are my mistakes, but the good things, they clearly all come from you. So it's like reoccurring billing of that reassurance. Right?
Yeah, reassurance. Yeah, but the thing is, yes, that I get upset obviously too, because the time when I did get upset with you is because when you were about to, this girl, this love was about to crumble. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, your ego and your pride is about to let this go. Like, you're not gonna survive this. Like, that's how I was looking at it. I was like, yo, like only love can really unite you and really build you as a whole, as a person. You know what I mean? So in that time when you're struggling, I internally know, like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, we're about to go back.
He's dropping the ball.
Yeah, he's
That's
dropping the
also
ball,
how
and we're about to go back to the cave. You know what I mean? And
That's
like,
also
I've
how
been there.
That's also how two people also, I think, like in those different actions as the people develop. That's how those people too build like respect, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yes.
if Dennis maintains those things, for example, that you were teaching him, and he's actually able to maintain his love and do that, then you guys continue to be on the same page,
Yes.
and continue to be
Correct.
synchronized.
Yes, recurring,
But if you ham hog it or you do something whatever, then like that's kind of when the respect goes down, right? And like the synchronicity is also gone.
Yes,
at those moments. So it's like,
if he's expecting that as respect. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well,
if
it's not me expecting. It's what happens.
Yeah,
No, but he's saying like the respect is gone, but that would imply that like you're only, if I keep a love alive, for instance, is only when the respect for me is there from you. But that would imply that you're,
I mean,
have an attachment to the result.
No, the thing is,
don't.
if you're living in accordance to truth, it's automatic respect. If you're not, it's automatically no respect. It's just what it is. If you're living out of ego, pride, and anger, like, I don't. Like, bringing your example to the thing where Nate came to me and showed me messages that was happening with his ex-girlfriend, right? And the way he was coming across. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, like, I didn't teach you this. Like, where'd you come up with this? You know what I mean? Like, this is not my advice. This is not what we talked about. What happened here? And I was like, damn, man, like, what the fuck?
So you're saying those moments is where the respect.
Yeah, I don't have no respect for that. Like,
Okay.
that's
I get it.
That hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he knew that. He knew that. He knew that. He came and he's like, yeah, I know I'm fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm at. This is a bad space I'm in right now, a headspace. But we went through, but this is how that feels in that moment, where it's like, yeah, it's a violation. And then we have to build up again. You know what I mean? Up until we get to the point where it's like, yo, somebody fell in love, somebody really feeling good about themselves. And next thing you know, it's blossoming and it's blessing everyone. And that's ultimately the goal, I think, of it all. Like, where everyone can feel it and be blessed and be in the presence of love. Like,
I think the biggest, when it comes to building respect,
the biggest gift.
The biggest respect and the biggest gift you can give somebody else is to like if someone is teaching you, to take their teachings and bring them to life.